Finally, we've got a Strange New World Season 2 trailer. While only a teaser trailer, it reminds us that Captain Christopher Pike and the U.S.S. Enterprise are returning soon. The trailer does see the return of the Klingons during the 23rd century, more Gorn Shenanigans, from exploring Uhura's tragic moment in the past to your classical Star Trek temporal hijinks with Lan and James T. Kirk, who will be a recurring guest in Season 2. So as always, you know the drill. We'll be breaking down the important aspects of this trailer and what they can tell us about this new season. If you're excited for Strange New World Season 2, coming on June 15th, 2023 via Paramount Plus, then hit that subscribe button as myself and the Trek Central team will be delivering you all the update info you need ahead of Season 2. Okay? Hit it. As we've come to love Strange New World, a staple of the show is better lit space shots. Seeing the U.S.S. Enterprise in all its glory, and looks like Season 2 is no different. We get some amazing shots in this teaser alone, but the start of zooming out from the sun of the system to the Enterprise, just travelling around the planet is exquisite and very TOS-like, with ship shots just rotating around the planet. With Strange New Worlds came to return to the episodic storytelling for Star Trek, and it seems that we're going into the second season, we're continuing with another tradition of the Legacy Trek, and that is a reset button between seasons. Last season we had Una Chin Riley being arrested by Starfleet for being an Illyrian and having genetic augments. However, she's narrating the beginning of this trailer, talking about the fond family of the Enterprise. So we'll probably have a first episode dealing with the trial of number 1, and return to the status quo aboard the Enterprise. Talking about the fond family, we have shots of Pike and Spock on the bridge. Lan, Uhura and Una are laughing over drinks, which will probably use the new bar set constructed for Strange New World Season 2. Instead of only using a mess hall set, which will still be used in the season as we see later shots in the trailer. We see this area of the ship later in the trailer, with even a return of Samuel Kirk, which is very nice to see. Even Ortigas is in the flamboyant jacket, which was kinda cool. With Season 1, we unfortunately lost a fan favourite character, the ANR Chief Engineer Hemmer, played by actor Bruce Horak. As with many novels set before the original series, the show will also have a revolving door of Chief Engineers. No, we're not a Scotty just yet. This season we have Chief Engineer Pelia, played by Carol Kane. She is described as an intelligent and capable member of Starfleet who doesn't take any nonsense. She's able to handle problems quickly and without much stress, and is also described as an experienced member of Starfleet. Whether she can fill the Hemmer-sized hole in our hearts, we'll have to watch to find out, but she has some pretty big shoes to fill. We see the mess with Dr. Mbenga laughing at Eric Ortigas. We know that we'll be getting an episode focused on Ortigas in Season 2, thanks to a clip from the second season shown a while ago, and by actress Melissa Navier in interviews confirming this. We also only really got one Mbenga-centric episode in Season 1, and I would love more, so whether this is part of a Mbenga-centric episode or Ortigas, I am more than happy to see where this goes. And talking of Erica, we have Pike asking if she can do some fancy flying, and if this teaser doesn't use interesting edits, that fancy flying is using the phasers to make a hole for an asteroid while spinning, which is fancy flying. What is interesting in this scene is that Mbenga and Nurse Chapel are on the bridge, so there could have been some sort of medical emergency, considering the Enterprise seems to have been in an asteroid field with proximity alert flashing on Erica's console. Maybe one of the bridge consoles exploded and Mbenga came up in a classic TOS fashion. Another very interesting element of this scene is Ortigas having a pad with her personnel file on it. Maybe it links to her episode and doing some self-retrospective look over her file and history in Starfleet. Star Trek Strange New Worlds has used the new volume technology really well to have expansive Strange New Worlds be shown on our screen for characters, and Season 2 doesn't look to disappoint. We see Lan, Pike and Spock in some sort of desert with an aurora above them. Perhaps it's from saving a planet and they've come down to admire the view or something. Another cool Strange New World, you see what I did there, is a planet with tall rock structures and an interesting shantytown looking village on a mountain. It does give me big Pandora vibes from Avatar, with the almost floating mountains, and I cannot wait to see what episode this is, where it is and what culture lives here. Dr. Mbenga and Nurse Chapel seem to be put through the ringer this season, and share some sort of connection. We see a somewhat bloodied Chapel held by Mbenga and wearing some weird outfits. We will see two people floating in EVA suits next to a Constitution-class saucer that is crashing into a planet. I don't think they're going to destroy the Enterprise during this season, unless it gets recovered and given new hull plating to look like the TOS Enterprise. Not yet. I am expecting this to be another Constitution-class starship. Or, it could even be a Sombra-class starship seen in Season 1, with the U.S.S. Peregrine. These are basically Constitution-class ships but designed to be faster and had blue hull markings. They're basically kit bashed together. Now it looks like this will continue the Gorn arc as 2 Gorn starships are seen beside the vessel. You can just see them in the far corner. I'll zoom in on screen now. I'm glad we caught this one during the trailer breakdown, and I'm excited for more Gorn-centric episodes, or at least one. And later in the trailer, we do see Chapel and Spock are seemingly the ones in the suits aboard the fairly destroyed Constitution-class ship. We also see a small clip of one of the baby Gorn from Season 1. I hope they further explain how these Gorn fit into the Gorn season we know and things like that, and basically working back into continuity and solving those problems of how Plot A gets to Plot B. Last season, we were introduced to Paul Wesley as James C. Kirk in a very roundabout way. We were introduced to him in an alternate timeline where Pike remained captain of the U.S.S Enterprise, up to the events of Balance of Terror. He's now set to recur as a guest star in Season 2 of Strange New Worlds. It is confirmed to return again for more episodes this season, so we can probably expect more of Kirk this season than more than just the temporal episode. In this trailer, however, we see Kirk beaming aboard the Enterprise and Lan getting quite flustered around him. You even have number 1 making fun of his situation towards Lan, which I am loving how Rebecca Romijn is continuing the character of number 1 in new ways. We know that Pike was originally a test pilot. He hasn't had many opportunities to show this, but we see him piloting a shuttle in a teaser and doing some pretty harsh maneuvering over a planetary surface. In the shuttle with him is Mbenga and possibly Una. This is compared to another shuttle sequence, but from the outside, with a shuttle on what looks to be an asteroid going towards some sort of spatial anomaly. The asteroid does seem to have some ancient structures on it, and it's pretty cool. I do wonder if this might be relating to the children of a comet from Season 1, and the shepherds which worship and protect them. The comets are known as arbiters of life, and while the first comet had water vapour which brought life back to a barren planet, perhaps this one could be the arbiter of death in a way. It could be a worse way, by carrying around spatial distortions that could take away life. It's a good theory. This would be a neat way to link back into Season 1 of Strange New Worlds, but I do doubt it, and only mention it because of the structures on the asteroid's surface. This could also be a temporal anomaly and could be how Lan and Kirk find their way to modern day. The best thing about this trailer is that we see the return of Klingons. The Klingons in Star Trek Discovery were controversial, to say the least. So we have the return of a more motion picture style Klingons in this trailer. We see a Klingon of quite a ceremonial sort of armor stance and a baldric with an emblem probably denoting whatever house this Klingon belongs to, though I do not know what house this might be and we can't really tell. The Klingons of Spock are drinking blood wine from a very iconic but more detailed than previous Klingon blood wine cup. Personally, with Spock here, I would love if this Klingon turns out to be Kren Suti Rustar, a Klingon in Beta Canon that became friends of Spock. This would also be a nice connection to Star Trek Picard, when recently we had the U.S.S Rushtar, a part of Starfleet, honouring this Klingon who had never been on screen. Pretty cool. Another interesting note is that behind Spock when he's drinking blood wine is a new alien species. This could be a slave race of the Klingon Empire, or just someone working the bar that the Spock and the Klingon are at. From a ready room, the abstract show of Will Wheaton, during the interview of Babs, who plays Dr. Mbenga, he said that Strange New Worlds Season 2 will feature an exploration of Mbenga's continuous relationship with Klingons. Yes, I know it's a mouthful. So the Klingon episode may be a Mbenga-centric episode as well, and Spock is just there for the ride. We also have the Klingon D7 appear in this trailer, which is great to see. Obviously the Klingon fleet in Discovery was very diverse, due to the great houses basically being at war with each other and making their own ships. We saw in Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery that Chancellor Rel was making plans to create the D7 cruiser, to show the new unified Klingon Empire on how these ships are being made pretty quickly, and also they were present in the battle near Zahir. This model of D7 is slightly more modified from the Discovery version, showing they have both in-universe and out-of-universe modified the D7 as time goes on. Overall, it's great to see the ship again, as it just screams Klingon. It is what we know, so I'm glad we have this evolution of not only the Klingon designs, but also the Klingon ship designs as well. It's perfect. There is a shot of the Enterprise travelling through a red asteroid field while being seemingly fired at by some unknown aggressor. Though saying that, with the angle and direction of a bolt being fired, it might be that the Enterprise is hunting someone down through this asteroid field. In a shot which is out of context and basically means nothing, we have a vial being dropped on the floor next to 2 people standing up. What this means, we have no idea, but it seems worth pointing out because it seems like it might be a significant point in an episode. There are some very trippy scenes in the teaser which would seem to be centered around a Chapel-centric episode. In it, we see Nurse Chapel, Uhura, and Ortigas in this very oil paint-like space with a very reflective floor. This could be some sort of mind meld situation. If Spock was there, that would be my best guess, but it could be a dream or anything else, or just an art gallery. I'm joking, but it could be. What is interesting is that the planet used between the 2 scenes of the words "Leave your world behind" seems to be a reuse of Talos 4 seen in Star Trek Discovery's 2nd season. This planet is one of the Talosians from the original TOS pilot The Caged. So whether this means a return to Talos 4 or simply reuse of the Talos 4 planet footage from Discovery, we don't know. Pretty cool though. We may or may not get Talos, but another planet that originates from the cage is Rigel 7. This was a planet where Pike lost 3 crew members and almost gave up being a Starfleet captain. We knew we were getting Rigel 7 from Eric Ortega's promo scene from Season 2 last year, and this next scene of a teaser trailer seems to be set on Rigel 7. In it, we see 2 guards guarding a building with a portcullis with a Starfleet delta on it. Considering the inhabitants of Rigel 7 were shown to be pretty savage, this could be an example of Starfleet cultural contamination on this world, with Pike, Lan and the crew being sent down in disguise to hopefully fix the cultural damage. Last season we had Pike coming to terms with his future, and this episode may have Pike coming to terms with his past and the events that happened on Rigel 7, especially if his last mission there was the mission that caused this cultural contamination and damage to the planet. We see Lance sparing what looks to be Dr. Mbenga in the sparring room at what looks to at least be practice bat lifts, which is probably good to train against for Starfleet officers, considering the war they had a couple of years ago with the Klingon Empire. I do hope that this is Dr. Mbenga, because the actor is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I hope that he can bring it to the character of Dr. Mbenga. We also do later see a very sweaty Mbenga in this trailer, so whether this is after sparring with Lan or a different scene, we don't know, but 2 could be related. Strange New Worlds has returned to the tradition of Trek quite a bit, and it wouldn't be Trek without parts of the ship blowing up randomly. We see a character get sent through a wall as something explodes. The circular table in front of a screen makes me think this is some sort of science lab, whether it's beyond the Enterprise or a different facility is unknown. Not only will Pike come face to face with his past, but Uhura will also. In season 1 of the show, we learn that Uhura lost her parents and brother to a shuttle accident at the University of Nairobi. We see that in this teaser, which is wild, we actually got our first live action look at Africa in Star Trek. This will definitely be an in-Uhura-centric episode, and probably making Uhura realise her place is in Starfleet, and she isn't running away from her past. I will say the shuttle crash is a perfect place to reuse the Discovery shuttle instead of a new Strange New World shuttle. But it is what it is. Why Uhura sees this image from her past though is not known, and it could relate to the previous scene of Chapel, Uhura and Lan in this very reflective, painty area. That's not a word, you get my point though. There is another shot of a shuttle going across a forest later in the trailer, which may link to the shuttle accident of Uhura's family. We also hear Uhura saying, "I used to think of myself as always alone, but not so on this ship," which very much continues with a fond family aspect Una was talking about at the beginning of the episode teaser. An interesting addition while Uhura says alone is Spock alone in his quarters, and I do wonder if we'll get any more T'Pring scenes in season 2 of the show. Even though it hurts, I do hope they somewhat grow distant during the season to make T'Pring decisions in a mock time make more sense. However, what is great here is that Spock is playing the Vulcan lute, something he can be seen playing numerous times throughout the original series, so it's great to see Ethan Peck's Spock get a go at it. Starbase 1 was one of my favourite locations from the last season, using a model of a starbase from Discovery which was destroyed near the end of season 1, and then repairing it, moving it around to Jupiter and giving it some domes did wonders for the look, and it's awesome. We do get a shot of the U.S.S Enterprise travelling upwards along its spire and then going to warp. It's kind of very interesting, as usually Star Trek starships travel along a plane and don't explore in an upwards direction. Nothing is stopping them from warping upward, but it's just interesting to see. Some other small nice scenes are Uhura curtsying to Jenna Mitchell, who is also returning for season 2. Chief Engineer Pelliot smiling at Spock, which may be Pelliot's attempt at trying to get some humour out of a Vulcan science officer, indicating what she likes as a character. Mbenga and Nurse Chapel fist bumping, which is great to see, and it's just very wholesome. At the beginning of this video, and this teaser trailer, we see that Una was back on the Enterprise, alright. We get a clip in this trailer which probably explains this, and as we're getting a courtroom episode. Likely the first episode of the season, as we see someone hitting a bell with Una's personnel file right next to it. Hopefully, this is Strange New World's Measure of a Man episode, though it may be more akin to a court-martial or more from TOS's courtroom episodes. Considering we kind of know the verdict of this trial, Una will be freed and be allowed to remain in Starfleet, though the legal status of augments will still be illegal since that takes place before Deep Space Nine. It has become a very self-referential joke, but at least it seems to also be a joke in-universe. The captains of starships all have a saying to go to warp and do anything. From hit it, to make it so, engage, let's fly, warp me, all of these. So Ortega's asked Spock if he has any particular saying while he's in the captain's chair, and he just says, "I would like the ship to go. Now." Which is definitely a saying. Our final scene of the trailer is Lan and Kirk in a clothes store in modern day Earth. This is the temporal episode which we've been referencing throughout this video. It's a great scene as Kirk just doesn't seem to understand revolving doors. And when Lan says, "Never seen a revolving door before," he simply replies with, I'm from space, which is just great, and a little callback to, you know, the line from one of the movies, which, see if you can name a movie, because I know which one it is. I love that Kirk is bad at Earth-based things in the Prime timeline. He's terrible with cars and a piece of the action in the original series, and we know how bad he was in The Voyage Home with a double dumbass on you. An interesting little part of this scene is that the Delta badge on Kirk is not a Delta, so it's probably assigned to a different function of Starfleet at this time, as the different badges actually denote different sections of Starfleet during this period. You see that even on the Farragut, Kirk had a Delta, while someone on the Starbase duty had a different style of badge. So, did you like the Strange New World Season 2 trailer? What was your favourite part of this trailer, and what makes you excited for Season 2? The return of Klingons? Kirk navigating doors? Let us know in the comments below, because if you're talking Trek, we want to hear about it. Star Trek is moving into the second phase, with Discovery ending its 5th season, Strange New Worlds getting renewed as a flagship title, alongside Lower Decks being renewed, and Star Trek Prodigy. Just recently we had the announcement Michelle Yeoh will lead the Star Trek Section 31 movie, just as Star Trek Picard comes to a close. We'll seemingly be seeing more of these character-centric special movie events, with the aim of one every 2 years. Could we expect to see a Strange New Worlds character get their own movie? We would love it if this is the case. Maybe Rob April in the early days of the U.S.S Enterprise, with Scott Bakula returning as Federation President Archer. One can hope and dream, okay? It's clear the Star Trek universe is still expanding, and we'll see what Strange New Worlds will visit in the Star Trek universe. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2 premieres on Thursday, June 15th on Paramount+. We're excited about it. Are you? If you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Goodbye. Live long and prosper, my Trekkies.